Hello everyone at Highfield. This week, and I think it's the last week of these video lessons, I've decided to look at cricket because the cricket season is coming up. I'm very excited. I've put my cricket t-shirt on. I play for West Wittering Cricket Club, and I'm really looking forward to the season, and so I've been really thinking about starting up doing some pre-season kind of practices. The two things I'm going to be looking at today is the bowling action. The bowling action really is critical if you want to be a sort of significant part of the team, if you want to play a strong role in that team. Developing your bowling ability is key. And you're at the stage just now where you're just really learning the action. And what we need to do is practice the action a lot so that it becomes sort of automatic for us. And the only reason why it's kind of automatic for me is because when I was a child, I used to practice all the time with my dad, my granddad, all summer, get the stumps out in the garden or in the park, and we would just bowl to each other, bat, and that's really what you need to do to get good at cricket, is to sort of really practice it as much as possible, both inside school and outside school. And if you can join a club, great. So I've set myself up in this room because this is quite a long room, and I'm kind of decorating in here at the moment, so I think practicing in here should be okay. So first up, I've just rolled up some socks again. So these rolled up socks have been very important in lockdown. They're sort of soft and they won't damage the walls and things like that. And so they make quite a good alternative to a ball. I've set myself up, and I'll just show you what sort of a wicket, which is the cricket bat down there. And I think, I've picked the longest room sort of to give me a bit of length on my bowling. Of course, you'll have to ask your parents about the sort of suitable space. I've done it indoors today because it's quite a bit wet today outside, so I thought, well, I'll do it indoors today. But it might be that you can't do it indoors. You might have to find a space outdoors, and outdoors is obviously better because you're getting fresh air. So first up, the bowling action. I'm going to be bowling down towards the cricket bat there, which is going to act as my sort of stumps and my wicket. First thing I think about is the grip, and we talk about this sort of V grip, where the thumb is at the back of the ball and the two fingers are over the top. So that's the kind of standard grip for bowling. So the first thing we kind of need to think about is the stance, the sort of first beginnings of the stance. And for people who are brand new to it, it really looks a bit like this. So the ball is at the bottom and the non-ball arm is at the top, and I'm making a sort of diagonal shape with my arms. What I'm doing then, I'm turning sort of slightly sideways on here to the wicket, and I'm getting my front knee up. And what I'm going to do is, as I bring my knee down, I'm going to start to bring my arm over the top. And I'm going to look to release the ball sort of roughly in line with my kind of shoulder, I suppose. I'm going to be aiming to send the ball down. I quite like sending the ball down to the very bottom of the stumps, which can confuse a batter, which is obviously what you want when you're bowling. So I'll show you that in action. So I've split my arm, ball at the back, got the V grip, loose arm at the top, front knee comes up, knee goes down, over we come, step forward with the other leg and send the ball. And I'll show you another one. So I'll try and get back a bit. It's difficult to get the angles of cameras right. Knee up, kind of sideways on here. As my knee comes down, my arm comes over, I send the ball and I step towards the wicket. That helps me sort of follow through. So, knee up, down and send. Just collect those. Just quickly go through that one more time. And then we'll talk about progressing this onwards for the more advanced bowlers. So split your arms, ball at the back, front knee up, knee down and come over. Knee up, knee down and come over and step. Take several steps in the direction of the stumps. When you come over with the ball, try to, once you've released the ball, try and sort of touch your front leg. Some people say it's a good idea to think, I'm putting on a big seat belt. And just remember to sort of touch that opposite leg. And that will help your accuracy. One of the other things we need to really think about is when we're bowling is to make sure your bowling arm is brushing your ear, getting close to your ear. Just collect these socks. What sometimes you see in cricket bowling is that sometimes the bowling arm doesn't come near the ear and the ball is released far too wide, like that, and then the ball will get sent far to the left. Not accurate. So to get the accuracy, we really need to brush the ear with the inner arm, bicep at the top. Brush the ear, release, and remember that ball arm that comes to the opposite leg, stepping through. That will all help you towards your accuracy. Okay, moving on to sort of thinking about the next step of bowling, which would include a run-up, really. But it doesn't have to include a run-up straight away. So you'll never see a bowler really playing cricket on the TV, on the television, starting like this. They don't stand on the line and bowl like this. They have a bit of a run-up and they sort of naturally get into the action. And I want to show you that action. Give you some tips about how to sort of get that action. So if you imagine you're running, the bowler would then, when they're about ready, they're coming up to the line, the ball would come sort of up towards the face. And sometimes we say that's, eat the apple, and that helps you remember, come up to the face. The non-bowling arm almost looks like it's about to do a karate chop up to the face, and we sort of are in this sort of position, almost sort of like this position. Okay, just to show you again, so sort of this position. You can see I'm just getting my front leg up, I'm nearly ready to bowl. Okay, so ball comes up to the face, pretending we're eating an apple, loose arm comes here, and then we're beginning to get ready to bowl, my knees coming up, my arms split into that diagonal position, and over I go and bowl. Okay, but the good bowler will be able to do that all quite quickly, but when we're learning we have to start quite slowly. Okay, so I would just say practice getting into this position, and in this position my back is leaning back a bit into this sort of chopping looking position, and I'm going to get my knee up. Okay, and then I'm going to change that position from a chop position, knee up, to a stretched out position. Then I'm going to bowl. I'm going to step towards the wicket, and then I look to start to speed that up. So I might put a little jog in, okay, and over I go. So the hard bit is this bit, getting the knee up and stretching out and coming over. I'll do a few more so that hopefully I'll do it really slowly so you can start to get the idea. And another good idea is to do this in a mirror so you can sort of see what you're doing. Is your inner arm brushing your ear? Are you touching your pocket area? You know, putting that big seatbelt on, are you doing that? Are you releasing the ball at kind of forehead, shoulder-ish height? Have you got the right grip? So I'll do a few so that you get the idea. So, little one up. One of the things I do lean back to get a bit more sort of momentum as I release the ball and I come forward. Okay, good. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is batting. Okay, batting we can do again, probably better outdoors unless you've got, you know, kind of rough area in the house that your parents don't mind. But also the other good thing would be is to get a soft ball, like a sponge ball, a plastic bat maybe. But as it is, I've got a tennis ball. I wanted to talk first of all about the sort of defensive shot, the defensive batting shot. Very important to be able to do a defensive batting shot. You will do a defensive shot when you think the ball is being bowled straight at the wickets. So you've got a good bowler bowling at you and the ball's coming straight to the wickets. We don't want to be risky, and so we want to defend the wickets so the wickets don't get hit with the ball. We stay in. So understanding the defensive shots is quite key. Quick story then, I play for West Wittering Cricket Club and we play in the Women's Softball League. We were en route to win the league. We had one final game to play against Chichester. Chichester came down to West Wittering and I was chosen as the opening batswoman. And my coach said to me, just steady the ship, nice and steady, not risky, defend and frustrate the bowlers. So that every time the bowlers were bowling, they were bowling straight and fast at me, I'd defend and not get out. And I didn't get out for the whole of the batting innings, but I did score runs. I scored runs when the ball was being bowled wide, slightly wider off the stumps or high. But I could judge when the ball was coming straight towards the stumps, I need to do a defensive shot to stay in, steady the ship. Okay, so a defensive shot is difficult with the camera angle, but when the ball touches the bat needs to be at a backwards angle. Okay, so that when the ball is struck, the ball is just sent down to the ground. If the bat is, when you strike the ball, the bat is higher, lifted, you'll hit the ball up into the bowler's hands or into the fielder's hands. So we need to be thinking in this scenario to send the ball down. So I want to show you what that looks like. I'm going to just sort of set the camera a bit better. So the shot would look like, without the ball here, I'm side on, I'm ready, I'm looking at the bowler, it's coming straight towards the stumps. I'm going to need to defend this one. So I'm stepping towards, lifting my bat up, stepping towards and meeting the ball with the bat facing backwards. I'm going to try and show you that now in action with the ball. And the other point is that you really need to be keeping your head over the ball. So your eyes are on the ball. As you strike the ball, your head is over the ball. So I want to see if I can show you that. It's quite hard to throw the ball and get into position and do the shot, but I'm going to show you, see if I can. Okay, so I'm going to send the ball quite reasonably hard. Could go wrong a number of times, so just bear with me. Okay, I'm hoping you saw that, where the ball was driven into the ground. I'm defending. Slightly off that one. Do another one. Okay, good. So being able to throw the ball and get into position and do a reasonable bat does take a bit of practice, okay? But you can do it. So the next one is related to that shot, and it's sort of called, I'm sorry if it's a bit dark, guys, it's just the angle I'm having to shoot this at. The next shot is called this forward drive, and it looks quite similar to the defensive shot. The difference is the bat is driven slightly further forward. I'll try and show you. So without the ball, sideways on, a nice front high elbow. It looks like this, sweeping through, leading with the elbow, sweeping through. I'm not really lifting my bat up, I'm sweeping it through and sort of stopping there. That way the ball will hopefully be sent ideally towards the boundary behind the stumps. So we'll try and have a look at that. So I'm going to try and feed it with my right hand and try and get ready to drive the ball. Luckily I haven't put the top coat on those skirting boards yet. I normally send the ball with my stronger arm. Oh, straight into the iPad. Whoops, one more. Okay, so really, you do need to probably find somewhere more suitable to practice your batting. But the key thing is having a think about that defensive sort of action, the driving action, and the other action is the pull shot, my favourite shot. Okay, so remember the sideways on, the pull shot would be when the kind of high ball is coming, and we can really sort of take a swipe for it. So it's coming nice and high, and we can sort of smash it out towards the boundary at the side. Well, I can't do that in here. But one very experienced player taught me that what's really key is practicing your muscle memory for batting. Even if you don't have the ball, she told me that before you go into bat, keep practicing your forward defensive. Imagine the ball's coming towards you. Get your muscles used to the idea so that when you go out to bat, this will become more natural. Forward drive, bang! Forward drive, bang! Forward drive, bang! Pull shot, bang! Smash! But under control, smash! To the boundary. Yes, out to the boundary. Nice and hard. so that when that situation comes up in the match, your muscles and your brain already kind of know the action because you've practiced it and practiced it. You've been warming up on the side. Yes, you've been warming up. We know what we're doing. So the last thing I wanted to mention as well with the bowling is shoulder flexibility. Sometimes people, and I am guilty of this as well, the shoulder is a little bit stiff. So I'm thinking cricket season coming up, I need to really get my shoulder flexible. So I'll be thinking doing lots of arm rotations where my arm brushes my ear, reach over to the side, really thinking about keep getting my arm nice and flexible in time for the cricket season. So there's just a few ideas there for you to practice ahead of the season, and you will find that because you've practiced, you'll hit the ground running. And so I think really practicing those sort of things is quite key. And if you can get your brother or your sister or your parents to get the bat out of the shed, or you can even do some of those practices with a tennis racket. It doesn't always have to be a bat, a cricket bat if you haven't got one. Perhaps there's a tennis ball, even a rolled up sock, or anything you've got to just get those actions going. Without my dad and my granddad, there's no way I would have learnt everything there is to do with cricket. So please encourage your parents, your uncle, your auntie, anyone that you see to practice with you, and then you'll learn and you'll get better. But remember, if you haven't got anyone like that, you can actually practice on your own, and I encourage you to do so. Good luck, everybody.